Hello. This is a dumb chat. I'm just doing this little impromptu chat because I was in the middle of building a website and I got frustrated. So I need a break. I'm having a little tantrum because I can't get an API to work that I really want to get working. So I thought that I'd take a minute. A bit shitty today, but that's all right. This is just the fun part. Just thought I'd give a little update, I guess, on how I feel about doing video 3 months in. Has it been 3 months? A bit longer. Like, for those who don't know, I'm, generally pretty terrified of doing this sort of stuff. And, as a blogger, I'm not really too bad at sharing stuff, but getting over video has been a big deal for me. And, yeah, all right. Logging into a live stream to tell someone that they don't care. Awesome. You're a quality person. So, yeah. So we get the trolls in. Hooray. Sorry, I'm not bothered. I'm just deciding whether I should mess with this or not. Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to ignore it. So, it's been interesting because I've actually started to appear on channels now. I spoke to Carter at Unsafe Space yesterday, and it was a great chat. And we're talking a bit about I think some advice for parents on how I accidentally ended up being a parent and navigating online and navigating this space early on. Whether nothing about my career or life has been on purpose. So we spent quite a bit of time sort of talking about that, the mistakes that I've made, how I have... how what I've learned, what I've done well, those sorts of things. So that should be on that channel soon. I'm not sure when, but I'll let you know. And it's been a weird progression from being a stuttery, screencasting, afraid of the camera mess, with the default camera on my monitor, up to getting, a light and a fairly decent camera. Still grappling with lights. I still haven't set up the box lights, but whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. So for those that, I think one thing that I think is valuable for clients particularly is this thing where they say, I'm afraid of video. And it's like, well, yeah, everyone's afraid initially. I have avoided it for years, despite probably being a good fit. And I still obviously get a little bit rattled when dickheads show up in my feed. But for the most part, I think that it really is good for your skin to start to just do it and fail upwards. Every stream has something that happens, something that some dickhead wanders in. Like there was the one with the Twitch kids who, whatever. Trolls are sort of part of it. And this is why I do this, because it helps to build that resilience. And eventually, if I get to a point where there's, multiple commenters and lots of people and all of that hate, I can handle hate on Twitter. Like I'm a grandma. I come from the fucking IRC days, man. I can handle this stuff. But I think I know that this is not terribly valuable content in terms of, what's in it for me? But for those that are maybe struggling, they get to see, and that's one thing that I've always done, is be a crash test dummy for everybody else. And I don't want people to see the polish. I want people, the reason why I like live streams so much is because stuff does happen and stuff goes wrong. and we have a laugh about it, and people crash, and I get to sort of build that. It's very similar to that, stand-up comedy thing where you go in, and the only way that you can be a better comic is by learning to deal with hecklers, learning to just bomb, learning, all of this sort of stuff. So I'm using that same approach here with YouTube, and it's interesting because I'm feeling like I might, at some point, maybe maybe next year, maybe my 2020 goal might be to start doing some stand-up and actually start getting some of that funny stuff out there. But yeah, so it's it's been interesting. I still struggle looking at the camera. I still get anxious having people watching me and not knowing what's going to happen. But there's some nice surrender in that as well, right? Which is that I just sort of surrender to all that the internet is capable of. I don't do things by halves. I just jump in and say, fuck it, and let's see what happens, and let's see what we learn, and let it be an adventure. So I'm hoping that people can learn a little bit along the way just by seeing someone who's extremely uncomfortable, someone who's flawed and human and all of that sort of stuff. Let me just adjust my light. Still try and fail and not be worried about failing. And that's okay, because I think that one of the things that people sort of struggle with a little bit is that over analysis, thinking that they need to be perfect. I mean, I haven't got I've got a bit of mascara, but I haven't got makeup on, all that sort of stuff. And just do what you need to do. People will listen. I'm sorry if I'm fucking with the light. Hang on, give me one sec. It's just that this window situation isn't working for me, but Paul's hidden the lights. I don't know where they are, so I've got to set them up. But sorry, you may notice I cannot multitask to save my life. So it's interesting. So I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought. It doesn't take much. So I'm just shooting the shit. If anyone's around, have a chat. If not, don't. That's cool. Now, I am appearing increasingly on other channels and I think I'm ready to have people on my channel now. The last 3 months has been very much about just this. Learning this. I don't care if anyone watches, and I don't care if nobody cares from some rando on Periscope either. I'm running my own race with this stuff, right? It's a good way to go. Don't compare yourself. I can't compare myself to other YouTubers who've been doing this for a year. I can't compare this to anyone else other than me. But I think that I've got this this big sort of backlog of content that I've been wanting to do. Fucking hell, bloody light. Got a whole backlog of content that I want to do. But I've been holding off on a lot of that stuff because I just wanted to get better and not have the camera obviously standing in the way of better content, and my stutter standing in the way of all of that stuff and all of this nervous internal shit. You can still see that I do get rattled a little bit from this kind of stuff, but I think it's really important to see. I think it's really important to see that side of things because people start somewhere, okay? I never thought that I'd be doing this, and I've said this in previous videos. I never thought that, and I talked about this actually with Carter yesterday, where, some of us old school people who just want to get our ideas out there, we've been on the internet for a very long time, and I think we have some value to offer and experience to offer. Me in particular, because I'm doing a lot of stuff. The more that I research, the more that I'm seeing that we are seeing an online cult of sorts, which again, I'm not going to say it's a formal cult or formalized religion. I won't go that far, but it is very cult-like. It meets the criteria, right? So, and I'm just finding that fascinating, just from a cultural point of view. So that's where I think that there might be some value because I do have some experience in this stuff. So yeah, I'm working a lot on really good content. I've just got to like message people and get these things like happening. I'm just, yeah, it's yeah, you know, I think everyone is limited by their own psychology, and you just, you know, you surprise yourself with what you can't, you know, yeah. So, yeah, so how I feel about this, I'm a little less anxious. I don't find it as worrying. You know, I watch every video back and I learn each time. I do need to deal with this fucking light situation, but I will. But yeah, it's a lot of it is just learning to also not. I tend to suffer from this sort of analysis paralysis. Sorry, a little bit of a runny nose as well. Analysis paralysis situation where I've got so much content and I cross a few different areas. It's very hard to know what the top priority is, because obviously I've got an audience of people who are really, really interested in the gender stuff and feminist stuff. But I also, you know, the problem with doing that is that you end up being known as that, and that's not all of who I am in terms of content either. I do prefer to talk. I don't just want to talk about politics all of the time. I don't just want to talk about digital all of the time. So I'm trying to find, and you know, there's other things that I'd really like to talk more about, which is, you know, how we have an autistic ADD marriage, you know, like those things that we've navigated and still continue to navigate. That seems to be something that's, you know, there's other things that I think have value. But yeah, so a lot of it is just more knowing where to put my time and energy and where to put my research. And what I do is just basically follow my autistic energy. So at the moment, I'm a little bit obsessed with this new cult or cult-like phenomenon. I'm still not sure. It certainly meets Lifton's criteria, which I will talk about in another video. And this live stream is actually a warm-up video for that today. I'm going to be recording it after this stream. So this is just a fucking whatever. I'm around and I've got work to do, and I crack the shits. And then I've got to get back to work, and then I'll do the video. But it's it's just at the moment I'm really, really interested in pursuing research on this cult idea, because there is some very cult-like behavior and very scary and terrifying. I think we're just seeing stuff unfold, and I think that it's you know, I just want to talk about that a little bit more, just so that even just if people are aware that, you know, some of the organisations that they might be defending or supporting, if I can give them a framework where they might be, you know, become more aware of what's going on, that it might change some minds. So that's what I have been working on around other things, around paid work and all that sort of stuff. But so I feel okay. It's I know this is not really worth watching, but I'm just again it's desensitization more than actual content. So yeah. There's not really anything funny to talk about today. I haven't really read the news because I've been working. But yeah, I mean, I've got a Borderlands mask here. It was cool, actually. My Psycho mask is actually quite exciting. Do you know why? Because this was the pre-order. You got this for free with the pre-order. But you had to pre-order the disc, and I didn't want to buy the disc. So what I did is I went into EB Games after it was out, and having worked at game stores before, I asked him if they had any out back that I could buy, and he gave it to me for free. So that was very nice. I ended up buying some stuff because I thought, well, I don't like that, but yeah. So that's not very. No one cares about this. Whatever. So yeah, I need to get better at just talking to camera and not like having my brain. That's one thing I need to do work on, is not having my brain completely flatline as soon as I turn the camera on. But yeah, this is just whatever. So I'm feeling a bit better. There's stuff that I need to work on. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I think I need to just decide to just do proper content from this point on and stop fucking around. I think I always know that when I'm lingering and when I'm fucking around, that it's time to take the next uncomfortable step, and that for this, in this instance, for me, it's actually trying. And for me, it makes me nervous because there's always that thing where if you pretend that you don't care and you pretend you're not trying, it's easier that way, right? So, but if I actually do try and then people hate my shit, then it's very different to not really caring. But yeah, so that's the curse of being creative and the curse of putting stuff out there. But I'm trying to push through that fear as best I can. And I'm sure that my voice, you know, I'm obviously paying attention to what resonates. And talking about comedy and trying to be funny always helps. But again, it's just a matter of finding your voice. And this is I've got my voice, my written voice, that's well established. And what I need to do is just try and find my voice on video that, you know, like that. It takes time. It's taken me 20 years to find my written voice. Now I need to try and find this voice. And this voice is a lot harder because I'm obviously overcoming different psychological barriers and fears and, you know, insecurities and fucktards and all of that sort of stuff. So, you know, I'm actually good at answering questions too. So, you know, it's one of those things where if you think this is worth watching or you want to ask me something specific, it's usually the best way to get words out of me is to ask me a question and then have me go round and round in circles for 20 minutes around the question, and then I'll eventually answer the question. But you will eventually get there. It's a journey. I know I operate from a place of major excruciating self-awareness about how tedious I can be. So, but yeah, so I'm sort of venturing out. I'm on unsafe space. I'm going to start getting some people that I might bounce off, you know, some funny things and funny ideas with, some serious guests as well, and talk about stuff. But I'd really, it's the thing that it's hard is that I've got a Trello board, you know, it's not Trello, but a Kanban board with literally 5 different areas that I could actually just have 5 separate focus channels. And that's where I come unstuck a bit, because I do have a wide network. I do have a lot of people willing to just talk to me. I do, but it's just pulling that all together in a way that seems cohesive. And I think that I need to take that brand pressure off for a while and just let it unfold. And I'm not good at letting things unfold. I like to control things. But this is why, you know, this discomfort is actually really good. I like it. So I know I've waffled, but yeah, so anyway, this is me saying hi and live streaming because I haven't done it for a while, and there's Coffee with Taya on Friday, which is a lot more structured. Last week's went really well. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I feel good. I feel, this is warts and all stuff, but I do feel, I feel very vulnerable doing this, but I also feel like every time it gets just that little bit easier. So I'm definitely going to start with better lights. I need to get the box lights. They're such a pain in the ass to set up, and they're annoying, and they're eye pollution. But at the same time, it's just, I end up fucking around and getting distracted with the lights. So anyway, this is me abusing the ability to live stream and using... What a marvelous time to be alive. I just get to waffle and talk shit to multiple places and multiple people that nobody's going to watch and waste everybody's time purely because I just felt frustrated building a website. Isn't it fantastic? Anyway, so yeah, I want to do. Yeah, I'm trying to find the right mix of content and guests, and just finding my feet. But thanks for watching. This is boring, and thank you, Tartaris Trapsa, what if that is your real name, for telling me that somebody who I don't care about doesn't care. So that's great. You're a legend. Keep jerking off. I'm sure that you'll achieve a lot in your life. Okay, bye.